Ajay Bijli, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Ajay sir, you are of course the founder of PVR Cinema and the managing director of PVR-Inox Limited. But today you're talking to me as a singer. You of course have
Yeah.
recently released a rendition of the famous Sikhism sacred text. It's titled Waheguru Ek Onkar, which has just dropped online. Now, you are, of course, a musician at heart. One can really see your YouTube channel. So, to start with, please tell us more about this song, which is, of course, composed by one of Bollywood's finest music composer, Shekhar Ravjiani, and the music video is directed by Rakesh Omprakash Mehra. But we'll of course talk about them later in the interview. But what inspired you to go behind the mic for this song, sir?
Yeah, thanks first of all for having me, Vishal. You're absolutely right. My day job and my night job is to run PVR cinemas and PVR Inox now. But I think, like every person, one is not one dimensional, and you do only one thing. You'll become one becomes a very boring human being if you only keep doing one thing. People have various passions. Mine has been singing and music for a very long time, and in college I had a band, and as to sing in various college festivals and stuff. But then of course I took a big break when I started Priya. I got into the world of cinemas, and then in the pandemic I decided that once again I had time in my hand. Cinemas were shut, so let me start singing again. And this one prayer, which is Ek Onkar and Hanuman Chalisa, and so many other things I used to do at home a lot. My mom stays with me, and so I start with bhajans. I started with Hindi bhajans, and this just resonated with me a lot. I was influenced by, of course, Harshdeep Kaur's version and what A.R. Rahman did for Rang De Basanti. I was also influenced a lot by Shekhar's rendition of Hanuman Chalisa, and it just brought me peace. So I'm not at all somebody who's an authority on Sikhism or religion. It's just that music has always been one language, which even doesn't matter whether you're Christian, Hindu, Muslim, or anyone. Hindu, basically music has always been a conduit through which you have reached divinity. And I think everybody. So I just loved singing this, and then I just reached out to Shekhar once, and I said, "Listen, I love your rendition of Hanuman Chalisa. Can you do a rendition of Ek Onkar for me? Because it really gives me a lot of peace, and my mom also likes it, and everybody in the house likes it." So then he was very kind, and he said, Ajay, there's no way on earth I'm going to charge you anything. I'm going to do it just like that for you. And he played Waheguru on a loop, and then he also made a melody for me, and he said, okay, now why don't you try singing on this? And I have a teacher in Delhi called Santa Singh, who's very, very good, and with him I started humming this melody, and organically it built to something beautiful. I sent it back to him in his studio. He remixed it, and then I said, wow, whoever I made it listen to it, they all liked it, they resonated with it. And then I reached out to Rakesh Omprakash Mehra. He's also an old buddy of mine, and I said, listen, Rakesh, can you do a great video? And he said, Ajay, let's go to Pathar Sahib. Let's go to Leh Ladakh. It's a very picturesque Gurdwara. All Gurdwaras are very good, but this one is got a special thing where, the Pathar Sahib in 1514, when Guru Nanak Ji was coming back from Tibet and Sikkim, there's a whole story behind it. So let's go there. So I think God is kind. One thing led to another. And I'm very keen to come out with some original music as well. So I said, what better way to start with
Music journey
singing
with
Ek
this.
Onkar. And then after that I'll do my Hindi pop music or English music that I do anyway. But let's start on a right note by taking God's name. And I'm very fortunate. Then I was speaking to Raju Hirani. I was speaking to Bhushan Kumar, Shah Rukh Khan, because they were coming with this movie Dunki.
Dunki.
And I got little bit, I got to know about the storyline. I realized that there is some Punjab connection there, and I said, guys, if you have a Gurdwara ka scene, or if you have something of Punjab, please listen to this, and if you like it, you put it. So again, as luck would have it, with the grace of God, they liked the song, and they said, "यार ये तो अच्छा है, तो इसको लगा देते हैं." So somewhere in the background, that song is still there. So
Then,
it just organically happened.
like you mentioned, Dunki. Of course, this is used in the film Dunki. This is, of course, used in the background. So, did you get a chance to talk to Shah Rukh Khan and what he has to say about this song?
Red Chillies is the producer of the movie. Raju is the what do you call director, and T Series, they are the music. They bought the music rights. So I had to speak to all three, and all three were unanimous in wanting to include this song in the background. So I said, great. So that I can't ask for anything more. But now I'm very keen to launch it with my video as well, and of course under the label T Series. But the because we put in a lot of effort in the video. My son, my wife, we all went to Leh Ladakh. We were shooting there for a couple of days with Rakesh Prakash Mehra, Ravi Varman, who's one of the best DOP. So I thought, let's now launch it properly, and may as well.
That's what I sure.
Yeah.
So that's what I actually wanted to ask you. A music video actually explains a lot about the theme of the song.
Right.
Most of the time, a song with this theme, generally people like to go and shoot at Golden Temple, but
Yeah.
you decided to go all the way to Ladakh. What is that you wanted to say with the music video of Waheguru Ek Onkar?
Golden Temple is also Gurdwara, and Patthar Sahib is also one Gurdwara. So I just thought that, visually it should look very appealing. Obviously, Golden Temple it looks also very appealing, but this is something that not too many people know of. And it's such a beautiful, picturesque place. The whole idea is to bring peace of mind to everyone. People all have their own interpretation. It's a very meditative song. I don't know whether you've heard it.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it.
So it's very meditative. So the whole idea is that everyone has got their own interpretations and own methodology of how they connect with God and what brings them peace. So I think the whole idea was that if they see the video, they get to see the story behind the Patthar Sahib. So we put some supers also in every scene to give a story, and at the same time, if it gives them peace of mind, that's all the objective is for any prayer. It's a prayer. It's a Mool Mantra written by Guru Nanak Sahib, and it has a Mool Mantra, they call it, and Mool Mantra because it has different interpretations for different people. So I'm not anybody who's, as I said, an expert on religion. I'm somebody who liked this. It worked for me during the pandemic, and even otherwise, it works for me. I sing it every day. I thought, let me share this with lots of people, and if it reaches out and brings peace of mind to people, my objective will be served. There is no ulterior motive. There's no monetary gains or anything that I'm expecting from any of this.
I know you're not camera shy. I've seen a couple of your videos on your channel. How was it? How was the experience of shooting this music video for you was?
Actually, it was very interesting. First of all, it was extremely cold, and Rakesh Prakash Mehra asked me to just wear a kurta pajama. So I was freezing. But he's a master of his art, and he told me that what he tells his actors is not to act, and if you don't act, and if you just get very, very involved in the Mool Mantra in Onkar, that's the best interpretation of performance which will come out. So it was very good. We got very good support from the army, from Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee. It was 2nd of October. So 2nd of October is a busy day. It was a public holiday. So a lot of, darshan, a lot of people for darshan were coming anyway, but they were very accommodating. They let the people come for darshan for half an hour, and then they used to give us a little time to shoot our own video. So it was a full day, and it was very gratifying and for me as well, because the whole day my rendition of Enkonkar was playing in the Gurdwara. So I can't even tell you how good that feeling was, and then to have somebody like Rakesh Prakash Mehra, recording it, and I'm always behind the scenes. मैं तो कभी आगे scenes के आगे आता ही नहीं है.
But
So it was
October
good.
was very cold in Ladakh.
It was very cold, and so I wasn't even wearing any heat tech or any thermal inside. So it was cold, but it was very gratifying. As I said, the whole atmosphere was so peaceful that I really enjoyed it. It'll always go down etched in my memory as one of the best experiences I had. We went at 6 in the morning and we finished at about 5 in the evening.
So then, please give us a few lines of it, sir.
एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पूरख निरपौ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभम गुर प्रसाद.
Lovely voice you have. Staying with music, you of course have recorded cover versions of two songs. One is Elton John's Don't Let the Sun Go Down, and the other one is my favorite Deva Deva from Brahmastra. So, then I of course will ask you in the end of the interview to give us few lines of Deva Deva. But when your love with music started, and are you the go-to guy at the parties for songs?
You know, अभी तो cover songs ही गा रहा हूँ मैं, and I think that is not something that ultimately should be the journey of any singer. The singer should be singing their original songs as well. But अभी तो मैं अपनी interpretation कर रहा हूँ, like so people definitely ask me if I go to parties to sing a song, and I'm always have palpitations and I'm always have butterflies in my stomach. But lately, if my band is there, then I'm very confident. When random order is with me, and I like to prepare because as I said, I work 10 to 11 hours running PVR, so I only get maybe an hour in a day to do some riyaz. But if somebody says, Ajay, on such and such day, please come to the house and perform, do a Hindi 60-minute set or an English 90-minute set. So I always say, give me 30 days. So then in the evenings after work on the weekends, I really practice a lot because without practicing, I don't get that confidence. But just like that, singing one or two lines here and there, people ask me and I do sing. But I like it when I do a proper performance. A month ago, somebody, my wife's aunt, it was her birthday in Goa. So I did a set of about 60 minutes. Then on Christmas Eve, I think at my home there was a party. I did another set of 60 minutes of English and Hindi. So like that, I like to prepare, and I just don't like to sing just like that. But cover songs which resonate me, "Don't Let the Sun Go Down" was during COVID, and I wanted to bring hope through that song. Deva Deva, of course, my daughter was involved in Brahmastra. I love that song. So as a gift to Niharika, I did that. Then my younger daughter, she sings. Her name is Naina. I did Ik Kudi with her. She loved that song Ik Kudi.
Wow.
So I sang that for my wife's 50th birthday, and I recorded that. So covers ही कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन अभी मैं original गाने कर रहा हूँ अमित त्रिवेदी के साथ. I've signed a two-song deal with him, and I'm recording my first original song on the 13th of January, and then again in February, which I'm really looking forward to. Those will be originals.
So then, is there a music genre that you're more inclined towards?
I mean, I'm 56 years old, and I mean, every song has to have some meaning, but it doesn't have to be serious. Enough seriousness has already happened in COVID. It has to be happy. It has to make people feel good, but there has to be some depth in the lyrics, and they can't be disco-y or anything like that. Just nice feel-good songs which people can hum to, campfire, bonfire type of feel. Those kind of songs I like.
Nice to know that. But coming to movies, this year is ending. What was a big takeaway for you from this year as an exhibitor? The second half has been very profitable, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, this year has been fantastic because last year I would say movies were still coming, but there were still a lot of people who were skeptical about coming out and sitting in a cinema hall. I think there was a certain segment. So I don't blame the content that much because there were good movies that got released, but they never got that kind of a response. Of course, exceptions were there, but this year, uh, people's skepticism to go out went away completely.
Yes.
And I think it started, according to me, it started with Pathan, because to reach about 500 crores number is not that easy. Then again, suddenly it picked up from, I would say, Barbenheimer, Oppenheimer, and Barbie
Yeah.
collection, release, because suddenly you had these people. I got calls from people who hadn't been to the cinemas for 3 years, but Oppenheimer got a huge amount of interest, and they said, you know what? And a lot of my friends, I don't want to name them, but a lot of businessmen who you can't even imagine going to cinema, and they said, I want to see Oppenheimer. We came to see MI7 as well. Suddenly, not only did they see Oppenheimer, Then suddenly Rocky Rani they wanted to watch, they wanted to have a laugh. They once again got reminded of what it is like to sit in a cinema undistracted, and really enjoying an experience with everybody sitting together, a collective experience. So then there was no looking back. Gadar 2, Oh My God 2, Fukre 3, Dream Girl 2, then Jawan came, Animal came, just now Sam Bahadur, small movies like 12th Fail, and now Dunki and Salar. So it's been a great year. You've never had a year with 4 or 5 movies have done more than 500 crores. So that's a great sign for us.
Then you think the streaming bubble has been busted and streaming platforms are not a threat to the exhibition sector anymore, as it was considered a few years ago.
I think the volume or the decibel level of OTT platforms and streaming services went very high during COVID. Obviously, because one channel of movie watching, which was cinemas, was shut. We were shut for good 18 to 24 months. So therefore, and people still wanted to consume content. The content creators still wanted to release their content. So therefore, people only start talking about OTT. But OTT is one more avatar of home entertainment. Home entertainment has been around for a very long time. You've had video, VHS, color TV prior to that, satellite,
Cable
and then
TV.
came the streaming services, cable TV. So I think both have always coexisted. I've said this in various interviews of mine that they're never either or, and people are not straitjacketed in their behavior. I sit at home, put my feet up, and watch a TV show if I feel like watching, or I go out and watch Dunki, Animal, Sam Bahadur if I feel like. So I think that's what has happened now. People are doing both the things, and streaming services also will survive and thrive. I don't think they've gone bust. And similarly, cinemas will thrive and survive because both have their own place in the sun.
We are a country close to 1.4 billion people today. How
Yeah.
many more screens do you think India needs right now to cater its growing population?
Well, India is a very disparate country where in certain pockets already we've got enough screens. So if you talk about pockets like Gurgaon and Noida, I think enough screens are there. Even Lucknow, there's enough screens. But if you go down south, there is still under penetration of screens. And I always try to remind everybody that a thousand-seater cinema is still a single screen, whereas a fourplex of a multiplex is also 1,000 seats. In my estimate, another 25,000 screens, the country can easily take.
Wow.
There is no problem. Yeah, we are at about 9,000, out of which 9,000, about 5,000 are still, 5,500 roughly are still single screens, and 3,500 are, let's say, multiplexes. But I'm talking about the seat count. Seat count doesn't prohibit dramatically change, with multiplexes. So because multiplexes carve out, 6 screens, 8 screens, but the seats remain 1,500, 2,000. So if you keep, so I don't want to get influenced by China too much. Neither we
I was
should get influenced.
about to ask you
uh,
that. China is close to about 60,000 screens?
Yeah,
This,
but the China has overbuilt, and even US has overbuilt. So that's why even regardless of what numbers they've achieved, regardless of the population base that we have got and the number of tickets that we sold, I feel, in my view, I could be wrong, 20 to 25,000 multiplex screens or total number of screens is still what India can take.
well, on that note, sir, I want to thank you and best of luck for all your future ventures. Looking forward to
Thank you.
this time, looking forward to your music now more than what you do at the theaters. But in the end, may I please request you to please give us few lines of Deva Deva in your voice because I love that song.
चिंगारियां ये जो मेरे सीने में है दफन, उनको जरा देखे हवा, बन जाऊं मैं अगन, दहक रहा है बन के शरारा, देख मेरा बदन, सब कुछ मेरा करके फना, करता हूँ मैं हवन, Om Deva Deva